Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is TanakaCon 1985. In case anybody tries to pronounce my name differently, I will still keep the screen name, but from this point on, you'll know me as Evil J. Now, with that being said, Evil J is here to review a horror movie to go along with the Halloween season before it is shortly up. I highly recommend that you check out Lost Boys: The Thirst. This is the third installment in the Lost Boys franchise, and I actually have to say, I'm pretty fucking surprised at how good this movie turned out to be. Now, before I get into this movie, this is a brief overview of the history. This movie needs no introduction, in my opinion. I consider this to be probably one of the best pieces of work Joel Schumacher turned out. I'm probably going to say this is his second best movie he ever made. Many people would say that Batman Forever was his greatest movie. Batman Forever was great in aesthetics, but it didn't really have a lot of story, and it was a little too campy for me. Still a good movie, but not exactly his greatest work in my opinion. This is his second best movie, right behind A Time to Kill. Basic plot, vampires, kids getting mixed up in it. It's a great movie. I don't know what more to say about it. You got some great writing in this movie. Very good performances from all the actors and actresses in this movie. I will concede the third act is probably the part that weighs this movie down the most, but it's still pretty good. Definitely check this out. Corey Feldman comes from Lost Boys 1 into Lost Boys 2: The Tribe, as another secondary character as he was in the first movie. This movie is essentially a carbon copy of the first Lost Boys. Features the same type of plot, innocent kid gets mixed in with the wrong crowd, which happens to be vampires, and there's not really that much great about it. The only thing that really carries over from the first movie is Edgar Frogg's performance by Corey Feldman. His is the highlight of the movie. It's probably better for nostalgic purposes. There's not really much good I can say about it. The bad stuff, this is Angus Sutherland. He's Kiefer's little brother. This guy is fucking boring. He's pretty much as dead as the vampire that he plays to be. And personally, I would never care if I see him in another movie again. Lil Stifler is in this movie. Stifler's brother from the first American Pie movies. Aside from that, it's nothing great, except for a little nudity here and there, a few blood spots, and a lot of contradictions in the way that the vampires are killed. The high point of this movie, as I said, is Corey Feldman, and we get a couple of the speeches. Him saying that read comic books to find out how to kill vampires, and no two bloodsuckers go out the same way speech. That's the only good things about it. Lost Boys 3, on the other hand, is probably what Lost Boys: The Tribe should have been in a sequel. Has a much bigger plot than the first one, and actually looks like the characters have progressed somewhere. Edgar Frog in this movie is about to lose his trailer, and he needs work, and is hired by this woman who actually writes a series kind of like Twilight, and needs him to go rescue her brother from a vampire that's passing out ecstasy mixed with vampire blood. A lot of the kids at the raves have been drinking this, turning into half vampires, and the world will be run over with full vampires unless he does something about it. This is a terrific movie. Straight-to-DVD movies probably are not the best thing to buy right off and get into. Occasionally this will happen, and I do this primarily buying straight-to-DVD movies. I'll do that with DC animated films because they usually turn out to be the best. This movie, along with Batman Under the Red Hood, has been two of the best straight-to-DVD movies I've seen this year. We actually get much more progressive story out of this. Corey Feldman is finally brought up, and this is his movie. He was looking for his brother in the second movie, and there's a subplot in that which I will not touch upon, but this carries over here. His brother has been turned by the enemy, enemy, and he actually reveals much more progression about. He had kind of a falling out with the Emerson family from the first movie. Ultimately, he wound up having to stake Corey Haim's character, and there's actually even a nice tribute to him in this movie from their first meeting from the original Lost Boys, which I think is really awesome. We also get a badass fight scene at the end of this movie. It is good, but I kind of was disappointed with it. Feldman is carrying a samurai sword in this movie. It's kind of like his last resort weapon. He totally sucks with the sword. He's pretty much like Connor McLeod was in the original Highlander, swinging around that katana. It's a good fight scene, and we even get a couple of good payoffs towards the end of this movie. Now, one of the things that this movie does, along with pretty much everybody else who hates Twilight, is actually take shots at it. And there are several times in this movie where this happens. I'm actually getting kind of sick of the Twilight jokes. I mean, like, I'm sick of Twilight itself. I hate those fucking books, and I hate the fucking movies. But I'm starting to get tired of the jokes. Everybody's telling me, oh look at the faggot vampire. He sparkles. I mean, yeah, it's old. Enough with it already. This does the same thing. It's funny, but it borderlines on irritating with me in that regard. However, this is a much more progressive movie. We have the tribute to Corey Haim after his passage that Feldman does for him. And we even get a little more backstory on what happened to the characters from the first, or that actually survived the first movie. And we even get a couple of the payoffs. You actually have about 2 or 3 payoffs in this movie. And I actually can say no more about it. If you're looking for something good, if you're tired of Twilight or whatever, definitely check this one out. Hell, buy this one. Buy it along with the first movie if you haven't seen it. Buy this. You should own it. Lost Boys, The Tribe. I don't recommend this one. It's completely up to you, but shows you what I think of it. But buy this one as well. It's definitely worth it. And that's all I have to say about it. Just go see it.